Oh, another spectacular day in Northern California. Around the bend from the Golden Gate Bridge lies China Basin, South Beach, and AT&T Park at 24 Willie Mays Plaza. And that's where the Rockies will hang out over the next 4 days as they take on the Giants at AT&T Park, and then it's off to Phoenix to see the Diamondbacks. But first things first, the Rockies trying to continue their winning ways at AT&T, and they're coming off a very fine homestand in which they won 6 out of 9. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're along with my partner, Jeff Hewson. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies did play exceptionally well at home, and the last time they were here, you may recall, I think the best series of the year.
I would agree with that completely because they came out here in a place that they hadn't really played well. So let's go back to that 3-game series that they had here, and what a flashback it was. Because first of all, you're going up against Sergio Romo on Friday night. Ryan Wheeler with a big single up the middle, driving a couple runs. 5 runs in the top of the ninth to steal that victory. And then again, off of Sergio Romo. This happened with 2 outs and nobody on. And then Brandon Barnes, of course, hits the inside the park home run with the 2 runs, scoring Charlie Blackmon. And then on Sunday to finish it off, the Rockies in this game, they were down 7-4 in the top of the 8th. They go on and score 4 runs there in the top of the 8th with the big hit by Justin Morneau. So you look at that series, and that was really the highlight of what happened out on the road for the Rockies.
Well, they scored 20 runs in that 3-game series. It used to take a whole season to score 20 runs in San Francisco for the Rockies. 11 came in the 8th or 9th inning of those 3 ball games. Now, since that point in time, San Francisco has been a miserable team in San Francisco, which is so unusual for them because they have one of the decided home field advantages typically in the game.
Right, and that's why they've won a couple World Series in the last 4 years. But you look at them, they're not pitching very well. They're not hitting as well at home. And part of the reason is they're not hitting home runs now like they were early in the season. I think some of that power number has come off. But when you go from being 8 up to 4.5 back now in the division, that's a long slide.
Well, it's a 13-game slide. Now they're looking up at the Los Angeles Dodgers. They would be in the playoffs if the season ended today in one of the wild card spots. When we come back, we'll talk about that Rockies third baseman. You know what? He garnered another award today. Talk about Nolan when we return.
the Bay. The Rockies opening up a 4-game set at San Francisco. Hello, everyone. Jenny Kavnar down in the Rockies dugout with you. Colorado trying to continue their hot homestand here on the road. They went 6-3 behind some great offensive performances and some great news then to start the road trip. One of those offensive performances belonged to Nolan Arenado, named National League Player of the Week today. And of course, it's because of what he did at the plate. He hit .545 over the course of the week. That included 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. 6 extra bases in total, and really it's going to show that Nolan's plate production is back and at full prime since coming back off the disabled list. He missed 37 games this season. Before he went on the DL, hitting .305. Now, since he's come back from the DL, hitting .312 over the course of that time. And it's really those extra base hits that gives him that confidence. He leads the Colorado Rockies with 47 extra base hits. Corey Dickerson follows, Justin Morneau, Troy Tulowitzki, and Charlie Blackmon. All 5 of them have one thing in common. They all have earned Player of the Week honors so far this season, and that would be the first time in Rockies history that 5 players have accomplished such a feat. For Nolan Arenado, well, the common denominator in that is power at the plate.
My goal is always be a doubles hitter, and the home runs will come as long as I stick with that routine. But that's something, I take a lot of pride in, is getting my doubles and driving runs in. That's something I always want to be. I want to be a guy that can get the RBIs, and like I said, lately things have been working out.
Seems like every time he goes to the plate, he takes a really good swing, and it looks like he's in control of all of his bats, and he's able to be really aggressive, and he's hitting the ball really, really hard, and it's definitely helped us to have him and Corey Dickerson, I think, in back-to-back weeks.
Well, Nolan said he's very humbled by the honor. It's nice to be recognized. Of course, he said it also helps a little bit that I'm now hitting in the middle of the order, a place he's been with all the injuries, but he's proving that he belongs there. With that, we're going to send it back to our Denver Root Sports studio. Check in with Mark Stout.
Is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Inova Cancer Care, advanced prostate cancer treatment. Visit InovaCC.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com.
Jorge in his career versus the Giants has been very good.
The Rockies are right back in it. What a victory for the Colorado Rockies. This is going to drop, and Blackman's going to go first to third. He got by him. Brandon Barnes coming home. He's not going to get him. And the Rockies have taken a 5-4 lead. Rockies have tied it up. Safe! The Rockies swept the Giants in San Francisco. How much fun was that? That was big fun. That was back on June the 15th, the final game of that series. The Rockies won 8-7 at the time. It pushed the Rockies back within a game of 500, and you'd hoped it would be a launching point for more good things to happen. Unfortunately, the Rockies went to Los Angeles, and they saw Greinke, Ryu, and then one of the great games we've ever seen pitched, Clayton Kershaw no-hitting the Rockies. So they ended up 3-3 on that road trip and then stumbled when they got back home for their next homestand. But what they did at AT&T Park in June was memorable, and Charlie Blackmon in particular has always hit well in this ballpark. Let's take a look at the rest of the Southwest lineup for Walt Weiss, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Behind Charlie will be Drew Stubbs. He's got his average at 302. It's a string of 300 hitters. Morneau's over 300, leading the National League. In fact, Nolan Arenado, Corey Dickerson, Mike McHenry, then Josh Rutledge, DJ LeMahieu, and Tyler Matzik. And again, congratulations to Arenado winning his first National League Player of the Week honors. Jake Peavy, an old adversary on the hill for the Giants. The Rockies used to see him all the time when he was with the Padres. One of the greatest games I've ever witnessed was started by Jake Peavy, game 163, the play-in game at Coors Field. 1 ball, 1 strike, game time temperature 65 degrees here in the city by the bay.
Well, you remember Jake Peavy. I mean, he was a Cy Young Award winner. Well, that's something to hang your hat on back in 2007 when he was 19-6 with the 254 with San Diego. But I always look at this place now. I mean, after that 3-game set we've talked about so much in the Open, and you referenced it a moment ago, that whenever you come to a ballpark that you've had some success recently, that just makes you feel that much better when you're coming out, you're stepping on the field, you say, hey, I remember what happened here last time. Let's go get it again.
Well, the Rockies, interestingly, Huey, here's the 1-2, and it's foul back, are 7-4 against the Giants this year. That's the only team in the West they're above 500 against. And usually, when you think of the Giants and the Dodgers, it's a struggle, and the Rockies usually play well against San Diego and typically play pretty well against Arizona.
Yeah, and the Giants are 4-7 against Colorado. As you said, that's the only team they're below 500 against in the National League West. He's safe.
Close play, off the bag, Posey. In fact, he is safe. And that's why you always go hard. Charlie Blackmon reaches on what should be a routine ground ball to second. And Joe Panik's a young player. Maybe he didn't realize that Blackmon, A, can run and is going to bust it up the line.
Well, and he kind of took a little name from his he did something, but his name implies he panicked because he just let go of that ball, threw it too much from the side, and it sailed on him. And Bruce Bochy's going to come out and argue. I think bust through his foot was off the bag.
And that's what Corey Blazer, the first base umpire, indicated.
Yep.
And Boch from Ron Wotus gets the thumb down, the big thumb down. Boch, come on back here.
Yep. Just walk back to the dugout because this is a straight-up E4. Watch the elbow drop down and the hand get below the ball. And that just causes the ball to sail. And the reason he sailed it is because of the hustle from Charlie down the line. Foot off the bag, easy call. Corey Blazer did not assume that, ball's going to be runner's going to be out.
So here's Drew Stubbs. Well, he took an impressive batting practice today, didn't he?
He did. He hit about 3 balls out to dead center field. And the interesting thing about that is after he came out of his first round of batting practice, he looks at me and goes, I'm glad we're not starting the game right now because the shadows are too bad. This is about 5:30 local time. I said, well, and then after the second one, I said, how are the shadows? He goes, I still can't see real well. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Well, whatever you think you're seeing,
right,
it's working for you.
Use it tonight in the game.
And that's outside, 2-0. Peavy making his 6th start since coming from Boston in a Giant uniform. It made a lot of sense for San Francisco to go get him.
Oh, sure.
I mean, great pitcher's park. He's a wonderful competitor, and he's so familiar with the division and the teams that he would face. So it made a whole lot of sense for the Giants to go get him.
It happened back on July 26. He traded a couple players, Edwin Escobar, a left-handed pitcher, and Heath Embry, the right-handed pitcher. You see Brian Sabian, the GM of the Giants.
Longest tenured. Brian's the longest tenured GM in the game.
They're still scouting the waiver wires and see who's been put on waivers. Did they claim him? All that as we approach August 31st.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly what he's looking at. Stubbs has a 6-game hitting streak going, 12 for his last 21 at the plate. Yesterday he was 3 for 5, including a double. Ribby scored a run, stole a base.
He's fit into this role nicely. Whatever he's been asked to do, whether it's start for a number of games in a row or come off the bench, platoon, doesn't matter to Drew.
3-1, and this is a high fly ball to left field. I'll tell you what, he just missed that. Whoa, battling the winds. Michael Morse tagging up his Blackman, and he'll move into scoring position. Charlie did that the other day.
Same ball almost to left field. Caught Christian Yelich napping on flat foot, and this time Michael Morse, he slides into second.
Let's take a look at the Inova numbers on Jake Peavy. Painless outpatient treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com.
Well, he's won his last 2 starts. So he started 0-3 over here with a 1.93 ERA. But against Colorado, he's just won 1 time in his last 11 starts. Peavy's not the hard thrower that he used to be.
I checked some of his numbers, and I know you did as well. He's down basically about 2 miles an hour, honestly, from where he used to work. But one thing that has gone up is his fly ball percentage versus his ground ball percentage. I mean, he had that hard sinking fastball sinker slider mix when he was with the Padres in his prime.
But you've heard me talk about it before. With the sinker slider, you go to where you think the ball is going to go.
Ooh, boy, that had a helmet. Charlie's going to move up. This goes into short left center field. In fact, Blackman at a moment turned around third. It didn't hit. I guess it hit him in the bag. Oh, it hit the bag. Okay. I think Stu Cole's checking on him. Stu couldn't tell. Let's see if the replays.
It's hard to see, but watch it go off the corner.
Yep,
the front corner of the bag. That's the first error for Peavy. I mean, there wasn't even a play there. I don't know why he threw the baseball.
Yeah, Crawford wasn't even in position. No. That's 2 errors here. And Morneau hits it down the right field line. This should get the run home. The catch is made by Pence, and the Rockies will take a 1-0 lead with a little help from their friends here in San Francisco. 2 errors and a sac fly from Morneau, his 68th RBI, 1-0 Colorado.
But also help from Charlie Blackman because he advanced once he was at first base. He advanced to second base on the fly ball. So he had hustle going into second and then the air to get him to third.
So Arenado coming up with 2 outs. Time now for the big hits presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. We'll check it right after the first delivery to Arenado. Reigning National League Player of the Week now. And that fastball's down low. And here's our big hit. Nolan driving the ball out to left center field. This went in the neighborhood of 430 feet. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $449. Posey gets back to the bag, and that'll end the inning. So in the inning, good hustle by Blackman as he reaches on an error by the second baseman Panic. Moves up on a fly ball, moves to third on another error, scores on a fly ball. Lead the top of the first inning in San Francisco. Angel Pagan, who sat out yesterday in Washington as the Giants lost 14-6. They blew a 5-0 lead. Pagan had some leg tightness and did not play. He's back in there this evening. He's batting .301 this year. And the rest of Bruce Bochy's lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Hunter Pence, who never misses, he'll be in the 2-hole. Buster Posey has picked it up offensively since the last time the Rockies saw the Giants. Pablo Sandoval, the same story. He's picked it up offensively and defensively. Michael Morris, Joe Panic, Andrew Susac, and Brandon Crawford in front of Jake Peavy. And the first pitch from Tyler Matzek's in there for a strike. Matzek has never faced the Giants. Should be surprised. It's his maiden voyage in the big leagues. And that ball is pulled past Arenado into that left field corner, and it'll be a leadoff double for Pagan. He's one of those guys, he just kills the Rockies.
He does.
Especially here.
You look at Pagan's numbers and what he means to this offense when he is at the top of the lineup. There's a cut fastball down and in, and he pulls the hands in right off the mound. 18th double this season for Pagan. He just missed so much time the last 2 years with injuries.
Hunter Pence, always aggressive, one of the more notorious first pitch in an at-bat swingers, and so you feed him a fastball, sometimes you're in trouble. You got the slider, and it's 0-1.
Well, a twofold, because he's trying to hit the ball to the right side, so he's an aggressive swinger, and you throw something off speed, you hope that he would roll over and pull to the left side.
Fastball at 94 is off the plate. Mike McHenry doing the catching again. Willeen Rosario still nursing a sore wrist. So McHenry caught 13 innings on Saturday, caught the day ball game yesterday, and he's back there tonight. Asked him how the legs are. He said, great.
Fine.
Yep. Hey, listen, especially being a guy that's always been a backup, he's been swinging the bat so well. You're not going to complain getting an opportunity to play every day?
Not at all. You're going to, even if they were heavy, and you felt like, boy,
they're fine.
Something's going to go wrong. They're good.
Yeah,
they're good.
Hunter Pence behind 1 and 2 at second base. Angel Pagan. Rockies up 1-0, just underway at AT&T. Let's take a look at Tyler Matzek's numbers, brought to you by Inova Cancer Care. Painless outpatient treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com. I know the numbers aren't pretty. I thought he pitched very well in his last outing, and yet unfortunately got painted up a little bit and took the loss.
Yeah, I thought so too, because the way he went out there, he attacked the strike zone. He also had a lot of ground ball outs in that game against Kansas City.
A double-digit ground ball outs against the Royals.
The thing for Tyler too, he's gone at least 6 innings in 9 of his 13 starts. So I mean, when he gets the ball, you could tell that, hey, I want to go out there and I'm trying to at least get you into the 7th, sometimes the 8th inning.
See where they go here, 2-2 on Pence. They go slider and he gets the strikeout. McHenry,
good call.
Really looked hard to hold Pagan at second, and then threw to Morneau. Great pitch, and there's one out as Buster Posey comes up. Take a look at the defense, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Dickerson, Stubbs, and Blackman. Arenado and Rutledge on the left side. LeMahieu, Mr. Steady at second base. Morneau, who took yesterday off, back in at first base, and as we were discussing, Michael McHenry is behind the plate. Posey's picked it up, though most of his damage, Huey, has been done offensively on the road, not in his home ballpark. Well, the minute I say that, he lines one to center field, and that'll tie up the game. So Posey with his 62nd RBI as he brings home Pagan, and it's 1-1. That was elevated.
Yeah, you mentioned it. 336 out on the road, just 239 at AT&T Park. I mean, making a pitch against the Buster Posey type, you can't put it right at the belt. Center cut when he's looking to drive the first pitch that he sees to drive the run in.
2010 National League Rookie of the Year. He's got an MVP award as well, a couple of rings. A good start to Posey's career. Here's Pablo Sandoval. And fastball rides inside, ball 1 on Sandoval. Sandoval is 10 for his last 20 at the plate.
Not as high as average right-handed, but he has a lot of power.
Remember the first couple of months, he was in a miserable slump, and most people were associating it with the fact that he's in a contract year and hadn't received a new deal, and it was weighing on his mind. And listen, every player, you were one of these guys. They're all going to say, I'm not thinking about it. I'll worry. My agent will handle it. I'll worry about it after the season. Not how it works.
No, it's not. You're worrying about it every single day. Well, and the other thing for Pablo, too, is they said, hey, you come into shape. Everything's good. We'll talk about it then. Well, he did. He came into pretty good shape, and they didn't do that. And now he goes out there. He's at 288, about the same numbers other than 2011 that what he's put up in his career.
Yeah, he's arrived back at his baseline, but the first couple of months it didn't look like he was going to be anywhere close.
And he was struggling at third base, and not anymore. I mean, he's made an error on Saturday, but broke a airless streak over there that he had.
73 games straight as he throws a single out to right field. He made a boo-boo yesterday, but he had gone 73 in a row at third base without making an error. That's hard to do.
Real hard, and he's not known as one of those agile third basemen.
3 hits, of the first 4 hitters Matzik has faced. And now Michael Morse will come up. Some people drive, some people take the train, the BART.
Isn't that ore supposed to be in the water?
Row their way to the ballpark. That one guy out front, man, he's doing all the work. Hey, the Ford Strike Zone's powered by Ford Cars. Big MPGs, smart technology, and unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford, go further. I mean, he's doing the rowing. Right. Everybody else in the boat's playing the kazoo. Morse, the former.
Oh, they put the kazoos down.
They put the kazoos in their pocket, and now they're working.
In the water.
Ooh, that cuts way inside. Good job by McHenry, because that ball's running away from him.
And you're not assuming it's going to go that far. That's the thing for Michael. You're looking at a cut fastball, but you're expecting it to move maybe 6 to 8 inches. Instead, it moves a foot, foot and a half.
Bouncer to third. What a pickup. There's one. There's second out. Nolan Arenado. Go ahead, folks.
Right
Rawlings, mail him the Gold Glove right now.
Go ahead and get the award, because he's going to win another one.
This is not easy.
No.
That's an in-between
pick, double play, but he makes it look routine.
As we go to the top of the second inning, Corey Dickerson will be first up against Jake Peavy. In the 5th inning, Huey, we have something that I don't know if you're familiar with. We do periodically. It's called Toyota Talk.
I like it. Tweet us your questions.
That's right. We do it every night. We have a blast with you interacting. Tweet your questions using the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll get to as many as we can in the 5th inning. First pitch from Jake Peavy to Corey Dickerson in the second is outside and low, ball 1. Dickerson last week's player of the week. Arenado this week's player of the week. Rockies have won 5 player of the week awards this year in what has been obviously a very difficult season. This ball is in the air to shallow right center field. Panic going out, and backpedaling into Hunter Pence making the catch. In the last 11 years, the Rockies are the first team to have 5 individual award winners that aren't at least one guy being the same guy. In other words, 5 different individuals have won it. Tulowitzki won one, Arenado won one, Morneau won one, and now Dickerson and Aaron, did I say Arenado already?
Yes.
Who did I leave out? Kadire? Did Kadire win one? Kadire won.
Yes. In fact, think back to 2009. That year they had 4 guys win it. 2009, it was Tulo, Seth Smith, Houston Street, and Ian Stewart.
Yeah. I remember the week Stewart won. Look at
Heads up. That's 2 or 3 games in a row he's done that.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday. Yesterday he threw the one yesterday had much longer distance on it. Because it ended
I thought he stayed inside it better yesterday because he kept the bat in fair territory.
Right. This time he came out and around and hooked it into the stands. All right, here we go. Oh. Heads up.
Hey, Mac, put a little more pine tar.
Well, today he did. Yesterday, Hunter, the bat boy, tried to give him the stick. The stick.
Yeah.
He shook him off. Said, "No, I don't want it."
Guess what, honey? I went to the ball game. I got a souvenir. You got a baseball? No, I got a bat.
I didn't even pay for it.
And Peavy, with that slider, strikes out McHenry. 2 outs. Josh Rutledge coming up. Let's take a look at the Giants defensively. And it's brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Morse is not a great left fielder. Pagan in center. Hunter Pence in right. Brandon Crawford's made 18 errors. That's the most of any shortstop in the league. Buster Posey playing a lot more at first base. Keeping his bat in the lineup. They like this young catcher, Andrew Susac. In fact, Panic and Susac, both high picks. Susac is out of Oregon State. He's a Sacramento area kid. And Joe Panic is a first-round pick out of St. John's, which has produced, it's back in my neck of the woods, it's produced a lot of big leaguers. Frank Viola, the bigger names. The Rockies' first pitching coach, Larry Bernard, St. John's alum. Yeah, the Bear. John Franco, also a notable alum of St. John's. Well, you can get something airmailed or you can take the slow boat, right?
Either or. Big port across there in Oakland.
2 strikes on Rutledge. It's inside. Rich Aurelia went to St. John's. Yeah.
Well, he had some monster years for the Giants.
He did. He had a long career. And that's strike 3 on Rutledge. So Peavy, a couple of punch outs in a 1-2-3 second. And it's 1-1 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 2.
AT&T Park. It's 1-1 between the Rockies and the Giants. Well, we know since the last time the Rockies saw the Giants here at AT&T Park, they have a new face in Jake Peavy, who's on the mound today. But here's what they're missing since the Rockies last saw the Giants. Of course, we know the records indicate that both teams have faltered a bit. Colorado just 17-42 since then. As for the Giants, they're just 25-34 and have plenty of faces on the disabled list. Matt Cain, his season is over as he had season-ending right elbow surgery. Brandon Belt is really the one that is a cause for concern for the Giants because he's suffered a concussion. Of course, he was on the disabled list the last time the Rockies saw him. Now back on the DL with these concussion symptoms. He hopes to play before the end of the season, but they're just really not sure medically how all is going to pan out. Of course, who they have gained, Angel Pagan. He missed the last game when the Rockies faced the Giants there on that Sunday in the sweep. He had lower back issues, back spasms, I should say. Ended up going on the disabled list, missing several games. He just came back on the 7th of August, and I think the Rockies right now, after he plated that first run, wish he wasn't back on the team, guys.
Yeah, Jenny, the Giants, no injuries. The Rockies, no injuries like nobody else in baseball this year. Maybe the Texas Rangers belong in that conversation. Marco Scutaro, saw Jenny mention him. Start to wonder now if he'll be able to play again. And
well, yeah. I mean, this started back in spring training. Then was only able to play the 5 games back, hurt again. And when you're talking about a back issue, and those are always the scary ones for players. You'll handle you need knee surgery or need shoulder surgery. But when you're talking about your back, that's an iffy proposition.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that Scutaro, this ball's well hit to center field, really well hit and gone. Wow. Andrew Susac with his second home run. That's a long way in the evening at AT&T Park. So the Giant catcher out of Oregon State, 220-pound kid, who hit some home runs in the minor leagues, goes deep for the second time in his career.
And the 8th home run hit off of Tyler by a right-hander. Again, another pitch that's too much elevated into the zone. And I was watching Stubbsy out in center field, and he just kind of turned around and went after it a little bit because he knew how hard that ball was hit.
So it's a 2-1 lead now for the Giants as Brandon Crawford fouls off the first pitch. Just to finish the thought on Scutaro, he'll be 39 in October. Back issues for a guy that is old by athletic standards.
Sure.
You wish Marco all the best. He was a terrific player with the Rockies, and obviously he did a marvelous job in helping them win their last World Series. In fact, you could make a case that he was their MVP.
Well, every time we came in here, who were all the coaches of everybody within the organization? Who were they talking about? It was Scutaro.
In fact, in the media guide, they wrote up his acquisition as saying it was one of the best of general manager Brian Sabian's tenure. He had 362, 16 doubles, drove in 44 runs, scored 40 runs in 61 games that World Series year. Crawford's gone. Third strikeout for Tyler Matzik, and that'll bring up Jake Peavy. Subaru brings you the Manager's Challenge. If there's a questionable call, instant replay will be used to determine the outcome. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Let's look at Walt Weiss. Stopped by to say hello to Walt today. A guy he played against going back to college and a long time in the big leagues. Will the Thrill.
I was with him in Texas.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was able to see him.
Will Clark, of course. Home run by the catcher, Andrew Susac, 2-1 Giants. Sports is brought to you by the Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive Ford go further. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. You get a ticket, you go that fast over the Golden Gate. What's going on here?
It was nice. There's no fog enveloping the Golden Gate Bridge today. See that? And Alcatraz down by the water.
You and Wendy go running over the bridge today?
No, I didn't. Nice stroll.
Yeah, you told me about your stroll. You saw a good portion of the city today, huh?
Yeah, it was a nice day. You have to do that out here.
Rarely is it not beautiful here in San Francisco. DJ LeMahieu at the plate. DJ's broken out of a tough period. He went about 10 days where hits were hard to come by. But of late, he's turned it around. Got a little 3-game hitting streak going, 6 for his last 11.
As any player does when he struggles, you get in your own way. You start thinking about it too much, changing things. How's my elbow? Where's my hands? All that as you're standing in the box when you should just be focusing on where's the baseball. Every player does it, though.
He had a big 2-run bases loaded double off the scoreboard at right yesterday.
And what was big about that for DJ is he had a chance earlier in the game with the infield in and a runner third and less than 2 outs, and he hit the ground ball to short, didn't drive in the run. They got the run down. And that's in your mind saying, okay, that's not happening again. I got to drive some runs in.
Hunter Pence in right. 5 in a row set down by Jake Peavy. Well, he was a Padre for a long period of time. In 07, he won the Cy Young when he went 19-6 with a 254 with the Padres. Then he was traded to the White Sox, then on to Boston. And before the trade deadline this year, Boston, looking like they were not going to be a postseason participant, sent him to the Giants. Back to the NL West.
He was a 3-time All-Star. Twice with the Padres, once with the White Sox, also won a Gold Glove, and then there was a 7-player trade between the White Sox and Boston, and then the Giants get him from Boston for some cash and 2 players. But he's always been I hate to steal the phrase a bulldog, but that's really what he is. Because that's kind of Greg Maddox's nickname, the Bulldog.
Right,
but Peavy's along those same lines.
I agree with you, Huey. He's a gamer. He's a great competitor. I mean, he'll talk to you also, and he'll talk to himself a lot of times. You'll see him barking. You think, boy, is he talking trash at the opponent? No, he's yelling at himself. 2-1, and Matzik pulls it to first, Posey over to Peavy. Well, the last time we saw Jake Peavy was very late last season, and I think all Rockies fans will recall September the 25th, Todd Helton's final home game, first at bat. You got to be kidding me.
11 months to the day. Last home run for Todd Helton. And we talked about, I think, last time we were on the air, Drew, that it doesn't matter if people are saying, oh, well, Peavy served that up to Helton. It doesn't matter. He still has to hit it.
Go back and check. He threw it, I believe, it was 91. Was it 91?
It was over 90 miles an hour. It wasn't like, okay, here's an 82 mile an hour fastball. Hit it.
Jeff, you played for 10 years and a month in the or 10 years and a week in the big leagues. You guys go out from 40 feet and take BP all day at 55. Look at the home run derby. It's hard to hit home runs.
Right. How many guys took swings and didn't even hit a home run in the home run derby, or hit 1 or 2?
This is to shallow left. Morse coming hard, and he'll make the catch. And that's now 7 in a row set down by Peavy as he gets Blackman to end the 3rd inning. Rockies trailing 2-1, middle of 3. Rockies 1 as the Giants will have the top of the order in the third inning against Tyler Matzik. It's time for you to tweet us your Rockies fan photos. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto for an opportunity to have it shown in a ball game. It's brought to you each night by AT&T. You can get your photo taken with Paul Simon. Just run down there. Huey, I'll take it for the next inning. Run down there, and you can get your photo taken with the legendary Paul Simon.
He's in Euchre. He's in the front row, right?
He's in the front row. Let me help you out. Slider for a strike on Pagan.
I picked him out now. He's close to the Giants' dugout.
Angel with a double down the left field line and would eventually come around and score on a base hit by Buster Posey. See, he's right there. He's behind the
right there.
Circle.
Got him.
He's got the baseball cap on, the glasses. I would have walked right past him.
I would have too.
In fact,
he started singing.
If he started singing, I would have stopped. Almost happened to me today with Will Clark.
Well, that Will Clark's a special assistant. He was here. Sean Dunston, who's also a special assistant.
Sean looks the same.
You think
Will
Sean
changed a little bit, and didn't readily recognize him.
Yeah, but not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. I know
it's just not quite the same as Sean.
But you just keep thinking of the guys when they were 27.
Right. My question is, do you think, though, that Sean Dunston could still throw it across the diamond as hard as he did before?
Maybe not 98, but probably like 88. And a good breaking ball. Pagan's gone. That's the fourth strikeout.
Well, nice to see that slider come into play for Tyler. Hey, if you're looking for a great ticket deal, check out the Blake Street Steal. Available select games throughout the season for only $20.14. Visit Rockies.com/specials to get yours today. And there's the thrill. Still living down in Louisiana.
We were talking with Walt today about Carolina played Mississippi State in a regional when Walt was in college. And that's when it was Will the Thrill, Bobby Thigpen in the middle of the lineup, and a former teammate of yours who had a great career, obviously, Rafael Palmeiro. They also had Brantley was down there in the rotation. I think he was in the rotation back then. I was a reliever in the big leagues. That was a heck of a team.
Yeah, it was.
Line shot by Pence to center field.
I just remember Thigpen, I think it was in '91, saving all those ball games for the White Sox.
And he could flat rake, too, in college.
Yeah, he could. I just hated facing him.
Looked up Paul Simon. How old do you think Paul Simon is?
67.
Close. 72. He's 73 in October. Looks great. Buster Posey, RBI single his first time. That pitch is down low. There's one, and there's two. Nicely done by Rutledge. 6-4-3 ends the inning. So we'll go to the fourth. The Rockies trailing 2-1 at AT&T Park. inning. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more in any game, they did it yesterday, in fact. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special, Live Moss at Taco Bell. And again, hopefully you took advantage of that today. Drew Stubbs hit a deep fly ball to left his first time up. Charlie Blackmon, who was at first, tagged and went to second, and he would eventually score on a sac fly by Justin Morneau. So Stubbs will be first, then Morneau and Arenado. This ball deep in the hole, long throw, and it scoots past and into the camera well. That's the third error of the ball game on San Francisco, and the 19th error on Brandon Crawford. And he had to get rid of it quickly. He knew Stubbs is running.
He did, and this is where the runner puts pressure on the fielder. You know before the ball is hit that, hey, if I catch it or if I have to move side to side, I have to get rid of it quickly. And he just stood up and came out of his legs too much to make that throw.
And that's straight E6. Not a single in an error. Straight E6. The Rockies still do not have a hit or no. And he's going to reach, and this gets away from Posey. And moving to third there is Stubbs, and he was holding initially. That's going to be a base hit and another error on Crawford. That's 4 errors, 2 on Brandon on back-to-back plays. And honestly, in defense of Crawford, I know Posey plays some first. That ball has to be stopped.
It does. But it goes back to everybody thinks, well, you can just put him at first base and it'll be fine. It's cued off the end of the bat, so it has some nice English on it, working away from Brandon Crawford. He catches it. Not a bad throw to get it over there, but Buster Posey, he's got to block that. See how he stood up? That was awful. You got to get down and you got to block it like a goalie.
Or like a catcher,
or
which
like
he is.
Or like a catcher, yes. But the Rockies will take it.
First
no doubt about it.
Yeah, first and third, nobody out. And out in front of the slider is Nolan Arenado. 4 errors in the first 3+ innings on San Francisco.
Well, that just shows you how valuable Helton was for all those years, and Justin this year. Those are plays that don't happen when they're at first base.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now Arenado behind 0-2. So the Rockies have their first hit. The infield hit by Morneau. Down a run on the home run by Andrew Susac, the catcher for the Giants.
I think for Peavy too is he's not afraid to double up with the fastball in. That last pitch. So that's what has made him successful in his big league career, that he'll double up fastballs in, but if you think that he's coming back in, he'll throw the slider away with a cut fastball.
Huge jump for no, that's a balk.
That's a balk.
That is a balk. And coming on home to tie up the baseball game is Stubbs. He heard his infielders yell, "Step off." Problem is he was already headed toward the plate.
Well,
you usually don't see a veteran guy like that rattled, and he was clearly rattled.
Well, because Justin took off as he's set. Justin Morneau takes off, and he's good 2 or 3 strides into his steal of second base. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4 or 5.
He tried to jump off the back. I've never seen
I haven't
anything
either.
look like that.
And that's why I was laughing, because it was so unusual that you don't see that. Well, think about this inning and take advantage of it. You've had 2 throwing errors. You've had a balk. And that goes on top of what happened in the first inning with the error by the second baseman.
I mean, the Giants have played awful baseball. And this is going to move.
That's a base hit.
That's going to be a base hit. So the Rockies haven't hit it out of the infield. They have first and third, nobody out, and a run in. But again, you have to take advantage. When a club plays poorly, you have to make them pay for it.
Well, and also for Nolan, just put the ball in play. That's all he was doing. And then, much like Justin's ball, this one had English on it. Kicks towards the line. And Peavy slides over onto his knees, but it's not going to catch it and throw Nolan out.
Dickerson got jammed and popped out to second base. His first time up. Oh, 0-1 on Corey. As aggressive as any hitter you will see. And it works for him because he has tremendous hand-eye coordination.
Don't take that aggressiveness away.
Yeah, I mean, if you broke down tape on him, you say, "Oh, Corey, look at this. You're expanding your zone too much." Some guys, you'd have that conversation. He's one you'd be careful having that conversation with because he gets so many hits on pitches out of the zone.
I always go back to Vlad Guerrero. Great bat ball hitter.
This ball, a bullet to center field. It'll stay up for Pagan. Coming home is Morneau with the Rockies' third run and the go-ahead run. And it's 3-2 on the sac fly by Dickerson, his 62nd RBI. Good base running by Justin also. He's the one that caused the balk on Peavy.
Just goes to show you, you can put pressure on a team no matter how experienced they are. That's what they've done this inning to San Francisco.
Here's McHenry. Bounces that one to Stu Cole. Nice soft hand, Stu. Good lateral movement. Great feet.
Former infielder. That's why.
Oh, absolutely. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level seats today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Rosario is available to pinch hit today if necessary, and that's going to be caught by Susac. So McHenry is gone, second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Josh Rutledge.
I want to put some extra pine tar, get a new pair of batting gloves. That bat came out of his hand again. All that, the rosin, the stick.
Are some guys particular about having it be too sticky?
Yeah, and that's where this little thing right there, that's the stickum. I didn't like that for me, but some guys like that better than the pine tar and the rosin mixture. Because I felt like that stick made the bat and the grip too sticky, where if I swung, I wouldn't be able to drop the bat.
Kind of weigh you down if you're running around the bases with it, huh?
Slows you down more than anything.
Yeah. It's not as aerodynamic.
No. I mean, it's not like you're carrying a baton and track.
Rutledge with a high fly ball to Morse in left field. Morse will have it to end the inning, but the Rockies take the lead 3-2 as the Giants committed a couple more errors.
Giants 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth, and welcome you back to San Francisco. Well, here's a look at Justin Morneau. He got an infield single there in the last half inning, and that hit number 1,467, ties him for second all-time on the hits list by a Canadian. George Wood is who he ties. Now, his next hit, he'll pass George Wood, who happened to play in the late 1800s. But the fact that Morneau is climbing up that list and climbing towards one of his heroes in Larry Walker is pretty cool. And here's Justin Morneau now to talk about heading more towards Larry Walker.
Actually, something I didn't realize until I got the ball from the hit that tied him in my locker. I didn't realize it, but that's pretty cool to be on that list. Some pretty good players and some guys that have accomplished a lot of good things in the game. So obviously it's a long way to go to get to Walker, but pretty happy to be second to that guy in anything. So.
A long way to go. Come on, Justin. You have several more years in you to play the game of baseball. 2,160 hits is where Larry Walker sits. Now with 1,467 hits is Justin Morneau. The Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, in fact, called the Colorado Rockies and said they would like that hit and they want his next one because that has a place in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, guys.
You know what? Pretty neat stuff. This ball's hit well by Michael Morse toward Triples Alley. And Morse picking him up and putting him down. And the crowd trying to help him out. And the big man gets to third. A one-out triple. That's, believe it or not, his third triple of the year. It's almost automatic. If you hit that ball to right center field.
Well, unless you have the speed of Brandon Barnes where it's going to be an inside-the-park home run, because that's where he hit his. For Michael Morse, when he gets those arms extended, you want to keep that from happening if you're Tyler, but he got the arms extended, drives the ball to right center field, then it kisses off the wall and drops down into the warning track, and Morse the whole time, knew that he was going for three. Do have it set up though with Morse at third. You bring the infield in, you have left on left matchup with the young kid Panic.
Well, the young kid Panic has not panicked against left-handed pitching. This is bounce foul. He's hitting 400 in August, which is third in the big leagues, and he's hitting 424 against lefties. 1-1 on the former #1 pick out of St. John's. Good fastball.
Great fastball.
Knuckles.
Now throw him a slider, but don't overthrow it. When you overthrow, you have a tendency to leave it up, and it's just a spinner.
Best average since August the 5th. Arenado #1. Panic #3. Michael Morse, who's at third base, #5. That's fouled off weekly, 1-2.
It was the slider that they tried to throw down and away to Panic. Looking at the middle infielders and Josh and DJ, they're playing 2 or 3 steps behind the cut of the grass because of the speed or lack thereof of Morris.
One and two again. Got him.
Exactly the way you want to diagram it. You threw him the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. You come back with the hard slider for your 5th strikeout tonight. I mean, right where Michael had asked for it, you know he's got to block it. He goes down and blocks it, tags the hitter. And that's pitching 101.
Yep, big pitch. Now Susak, who homered to dead center, is first time up. Moore's at third, 2 outs, and that fastball on the outer edge.
Don't go back up there again, though. He got away with one. Don't make the same mistake. Working down at the knees.
Giants just got back last night from Washington. They lost 2 of 3 in D.C. They had a 5-0 lead yesterday. Ryan Vogelsong left. The time he left, he was up 6-3, and the bullpen, which had been so good in the second half, just fell apart. They lost 14-6. The bullpen gave up 11 runs.
Come on, Jeremy Affeldt did get an out. I mean, he gave up 5 hits, 4 runs.
And I love reporters after they asked Boch on why he pulled Vogelsong 95 pitches. The bullpen had a 1.89 ERA in the second half coming in. Jeremy Affeldt is one of the best left-handed relievers in the sport, and they had a bad day collectively.
Happens.
Yeah. You almost want a manager to say, well, had I known,
I wouldn't have done that.
I probably would have gone in a different direction. As Clint Hurdle used to say, managers have to first guess, not second
that
guess.
luxury. No, they don't.
3-1, and Susak walks.
That was a pitch around.
Yep. He's got a left-handed bat, and Brandon Crawford, who's hitting just .230 coming up.
Well, and you also struck him out your first time.
I talked to Tyler about this the other day. I said, who do you model yourself after? Who do you look at? Who do you try to emulate? And not surprisingly, without hesitation, he said Clayton Kershaw. Now, it's one thing to say, well, I want to be like Clayton Kershaw and I want to watch and learn, but it's smart for Matzik. This is hit to Morneau, and good feed by Matzik. It's smart because, listen, he's got a power arm. Obviously, Kershaw does as well. The arsenal is somewhat similar. So it's not some soft toss and lefty saying, well, I'm going to watch Kershaw throw.
And he also grew up in California, so he got to see him pitch a lot.
Absolutely. Rockies maintaining the lead 3-2. Free checking at efirstbank.com. Well, the Rockies have been out hit in the game 6-2, but they lead it 3-2. Brandon Crawford's had a rough time defensively. He's got a couple of errors, 4 errors in all on the Giants. And good pitching last inning by Tyler Matzik after the 1-out triple by Michael Morse, preventing him from scoring. So we go to the 5th inning. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off. And DJ hits one to deep right center. Let's see if he can get a triple on this. And he's going to have to stop at second. Pagan was playing deep and shading in that direction because we all know the spray charts show that DJ hits the ball to the right side the vast majority of the time. But a leadoff double for LeMahieu, his 12th double of the season.
Boy, and you also don't want to get risk being thrown out at third. I mean, that's his 40th hit now into that right center field, left center field gap, what I call just straightaway center field, because he hits his ball and it's curling away from Pagan. Settle for the double, let Tyler do his job and sacrifice you over.
0-1 on Matzik. Rockies have won 4 of their last 5 ball games at AT&T Park. And you go way back to when this park opened. In fact, you played in it.
Yes, I did.
I think it was your last year of your career you got to play here. The Rockies all-time, Huey, 40 games under 500 here, 44 and 84.
So many times they've had a sellout here and just kind of use the energy of the crowd to their advantage.
You know, we always tell people that it's a joy to come here. Great crowds, beautiful scenery, and you know who loves coming here as well? The Rockies manager.
Oh, yeah, it brings back a lot of...
It's fun playing here, to be honest with you. It's a great atmosphere. I have a lot of respect for the Giants and what they've accomplished and the way they play the game. I just feel like it's a healthy rivalry. You know, although we haven't played well on the season, but it always seems that when we get together with these guys, whether it's at our place or here, the games are always very entertaining.
What went on, Huey, for a while about coming here, and of course, listen, he played out here for a long time as an Oakland A. He was a Rookie of the Year with the A's, 89 World Series, famously during the earthquake. So he has so many fond memories of this part of the country, and this is a great baseball town, and this is a great baseball environment, and it energizes the manager and it energizes that clubhouse.
Oh, it does. I mean, because you take that cue. You've played well here this year, so that helps you. But for Walt, I mean, Rookie of the Year, all those stuff, all the things that happened over in Oakland, and when they were getting all the publicity over on the other side of the bay. I mean, that was kind of the heyday of Oakland. Now it's coming back again. Is where they're at and where they've been the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, you think about it, you'd have the A's and the Giants in the postseason again. Peavy checking with his young catcher very quickly. Rockies a chance to take a 2-run lead at second base is LeMahieu. Matzik couldn't move him along. Blackman reached on an error and scored in the first and hit a fly ball to left field in the third. Charlie was 60 ribbies out of that top spot in the lineup, and good block by Susac and a good job of base running by DJ. And that, you know, you read ball down, ball in the dirt, you want to be aggressive and try to move up. But I tell you what, at third base with the open side, Susac really did a good job, and DJ was smart.
Well, and Susac, he was roughly 75, 80 feet away from third base by the time he picked up that ball, so it's a quick, easy throw. That's the thing for base runners. We always talk about base stealers so much, but base runners, you have to know where the ball goes once it's down into the dirt, how far it is away from the catcher. All that's processed before you even decide to take off.
take a look at our Steel Tee Heating and Air Cool Stat. Never a trip charge for a repair, $69 value. Steel Tee, the T stands for trust. Go to steeltee.com. Rockies' best season average ever at AT&T. J.D. Klosser, old switch hitting catcher. J.D. hit .529 at AT&T back in '04, and Charlie this year's hitting .500 coming in. Then another catcher, Chris Iannetta, on that list.
A lot of those hits for Iannetta were off of Lincecum. He owned him early in his career.
You're
talking about Iannetta.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for a while, we used to talk about it. Iannetta was the only guy who could hit here.
Right. The only guy that had any success against Lincecum. Now Lincecum's out of the rotation, or they're going to skip him at least for his next start.
Well, he's in the bullpen.
Yep.
Yusmeiro Petit will make that start Thursday afternoon. How about Petit? He's retired 38 in a row. Did you see that number?
Yeah. You and I did the same thing. We double checked to make sure. 38 in a row. Come on. Was it a misprint? Did they mean to write 18? I'll even give you 28.
38 in a row.
But 38 in a row. I had to look at that one again.
And he's the same guy that came within an hour of throwing a perfect game last September.
That's right.
In a spot start. 2-2 on Charlie. Blackman hanging tough against Peavy. Trying to knock in a 5th run for the Rockies. Funny, we were talking to Charlie today about all the success he's had at AT&T, and yet, man, it's still tough to play here.
I don't like it.
It's cold, windy. Man, look at the numbers you're putting up. And that's caught by Posey. Needed it to be about another foot to the left of Posey. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Drew Stubbs.
Purchase a green pack and help out the environment while enjoying a day at the ballpark. Available Labor Day. $5 of every green pack goes towards planting trees. Also, you get a little bonus baseball on September 1st, because that's the completion of the suspended game before the regular scheduled game.
So we'll be on the air that day at 2 o'clock, right?
Oh, we start at 1:30 with the pregame show.
Pregame show at 1:30. The completion of the game at 2, and then shortly thereafter, the completion of that game will be the regularly scheduled game. 2 strikes on Stubbs. Drew reached on an error by Brandon Crawford, his last at bat. Also a fly ball to deep left. Stubbs trying to drive in his 40th run. LeMahieu's at second. 3-2 Colorado in the 5th. And he was looking for the slider. It had to be. That fastball tailed back over the middle of the plate. Double by LeMahieu. He's left at second. 3-2. Did you know, Huey, what he did in his first major league at bat? It involves a guy that's a good friend of yours.
Grand slam, wasn't it, homer?
No, it wasn't a grand slam. It was a homer.
It wasn't a good. Well, and
who did he hit it off of?
Nolan.
He hit in his first major league at bat. The ballyhooed star, All-American out of Mississippi State, homers off of Nolan Wyatt. Hey, that's a nice way to break in, huh?
Sure. Yes, he went.
Jake Peavy at the plate leading things off in the Giants half of the 5th inning. 0-2 count. Matzik misses with the fastball away. Angel Pagan on deck. Go to our first question. It's our Toyota Talk inning. Does anyone get the RBI for the run scored on the balk? No, there's no RBI associated with when a run comes in on a balk. Giants are 25-24 against the West. They're actually better on the road than at home.
36-29 out on the road. That's
strike 3. Peavy is strikeout victim number 6 of Tyler Matzik. We'll have another Toyota Talk question. Will Nolan Arenado win a Gold Glove with 13 errors and counting so far? I still think he will. Third base, Huey, you played there a little bit. You were primarily a shortstop. Third base is a position where you're going to pick up some errors just because you don't get to pick your hop.
Right, and sometimes you just have to get the however it comes to you. You don't get to read it like you would at shortstop or second base.
Stubbs with a sliding catch to rob Angel Pagan. Angel said, I can't buy one, I guess, with Stubbs out there to Roberto Kelly.
Well, and
he walked off.
He's jogging back to the dugout watching the big board here. But it's all about the jump. Drew, wonderful jump in center field and timed the dive slide perfectly. Before you hit the ground, you have to secure it and make your wrist real stiff so when it hits the ground, that ball does not pop out.
Two outs, Hunter Pence, 1 for 2, single and a strikeout for Pence. Great curveball.
Starting to see that come into play a lot more the last 2 innings. That slider, slurve.
Matzik was the 11th pick, Huey, as you recall, overall in 2009. And the Giants had significant interest in him as well.
Remember the reports? This is the best left-handed high school pitcher there was. I mean, everybody talked about him, and then every scout that I talked to, when you're saying, who, give me a high school name. First guy off their lips was just Tyler Matzik.
That good down in Southern California. Here's the 3-1, and that misses. So Pence walks. That's the second walk allowed by Matzik, and that will allow Buster Posey to hit here. 2 outs. How much has Cargo's injuries affected the Rockies season? Well, it's a factor. Cargo, Tulo, Kadire, Anderson.
Brett Anderson, yeah.
When you start taking your best players and removing them for long stretches.
Tyler Chatwood. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's going to be very. Chacin. I mean, Chacin's a guy that on paper you hope is going to win 14, 15 games. And he was never really right with the shoulder. Started the season late because of it, and he now has an uncertain, at least immediate future. And listen, with shoulders versus elbows, it seems the last thing you want to hear is Tommy John surgery, but there's a relative certainty that with Tommy John surgery you will return. It's a long process.
It is
12 to 18 months.
But the
success rate is above 90%.
Yeah.
When you talk about shoulders, orthopedic surgeons who work with baseball players will tell you it's more of a 50-50 proposition.
Because your shoulder moves in so many different directions. Your elbow really just goes one way. And that's why that ligament, it's an easier thing when you're talking about having to replace the ligament. I mean, not easier in the fact that, yeah, it's still Tommy John surgery, and there's still an 8 to 10% chance that you won't come back from it. But they have that program down so well now, the steps involved to rehab.
Again, with shoulders.
I've had both my shoulders done. I've had
10 exact.
Yeah, it is, and each one of them came back different. I mean, it depends on a non-throwing shoulder. I was back playing in the big leagues in about 4 months. My throwing shoulder, now I was a little bit older after I got done playing and when I had the surgery, but still throwing, it was a year and a half before it started to feel normal again.
(2-1), and this ball on the ground to DJ. And Posey's retired. That will end the inning. So Tyler Matzik safely through the 5th inning. When the Rockies come up with the 6th, they'll have a 3-2 lead. Try to build on it. Morneau will be first.
Coming up to lead things off this half inning. Well, Justin Morneau's hitting .316 now thanks to his single in the 3rd inning. He still leads all of the National League in his batting average. But take a look at this ball. It is authenticated by Major League Baseball, and that's because with his infield hit that he had, it's now going to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Pretty cool for Justin Morneau. With hit number 1,467, as we reported, he ties George Wood for 2nd all-time on the hits list by Canadians. And maybe this would be hit number, yes, 1,468. Pretty cool, guys. 2nd all-time sole place.
Jenny, ask for that baseball quickly.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
And then put the little sticker on it.
I can't do that. I don't have that power vested in me, but someone will.
Jeff is going to make you the official authenticator.
Yeah, I mean, you have this fancy baseball down there, you have the lettering, and then this you have this hit from Justin. I mean, it's going to go down in the books as a base hit, and tomorrow will be a line drive right over the head of Brandon Crawford.
Arenado at the plate. Fastball's away, ball one. So now all by himself in second on the all-time Canadian-born hit list behind a guy who's pretty good, Larry Walker.
We haven't heard from Larry lately.
No, I don't know. He's
probably sleeping now.
He's been out of touch. Yeah, back until 11:45. Well, there was a day Larry wouldn't be sleeping at 11:45, but he's getting older.
Right.
Arenado had an infield hit his last time up. Tight, low-scoring games are played at AT&T.
Well,
this is another one of those tonight. 3-2 Colorado.
But that's why it was important earlier in this game to take advantage of the miscues by the Giants. Take advantage of the errors, the balk. You know, moving up on a fly ball to left field by Charlie Blackmon to get into scoring position.
Peavy has given up 3 runs. Only one of the runs is earned. In his last 2 outings, he's worked 7 innings in each and given up just 1 run. So he's throwing the baseball well. In fact, if you compare his numbers in a Giants uniform versus what he was doing with the Red Sox this year, he's been much better with San Francisco.
He's got more wins.
Already.
Yeah, with the 2.
Three and 2 on Arenado. Dickerson on deck.
Beebe says, I know what you did last time by taking off. I'm going to make sure I keep you honest at first.
First and third, Justin took off early and forced a balk on Peavy. That's what Jeff's referring to. He's going here, swung on and missed. It's going to be a strike him out, throw him out.
That's a risk you take, putting the runner in motion, but you're hoping that Nolan would make contact and you stay out of the double play. And the jump's not very good, only because, you know, you're so close to the bag. It's not like you're thinking he's going to steal the base anyway. Nolan just swung through that pitch.
Yeah, when Morneau's looking back and he sees the strikeout, he's saying, oh no, this is not going to end well.
No, I'm just going to have to go down into a easy slide, let him tag me out.
Dickerson had a sac fly to score a run in the 4th inning. And this is popped up with playable and foul ground. Sandoval makes the catch, and that's all for the Rockies in the 6th. They continue to lead 3-2. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ram Trucks. The Ram 1500 is Motor Trend's Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. And by Esurance. Now you can buy homeowners insurance online from Esurance. Welcome to the modern world. Visit Esurance.com for a quote. With Jeff Houston and Jenny Cavnar, we are in San Francisco, South Beach area of this historic city. The Rockies enjoying a 3-2 advantage as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Pablo Sandoval, Michael Morse, Joe Panik, 4, 5, and 6 for Bruce Bochy in his lineup. Giants began the day in second place in the West, 4.5 games behind the Dodgers. Tyler Matzek's first pitch, a fastball that's too high, ball 1. Sandoval, 1 for 2 in the game, 11 for his last 22 at the plate. That's in there. He's hitting just .214 this year against lefties, but has 11 hits in his last 29 at bats. So he's starting to pick it up from the right side. And that's going to be another hit. Tying run aboard, leading off the 6th inning. Well, we told you earlier that if the playoffs, the postseason were to begin today, the Giants would be part of it as a wild card. They'd play the Cardinals. Cardinals have the first slot, and then the Giants. But the Braves, the Pirates, the Marlins, who the Rockies just took 2 of 3 from, very much in it. The Nationals have opened up, Huey, a 7.5 game lead with how well they've played lately.
Well, they have a 10-game winning streak, so that helps to extend it. The Pirates just sent down Polanco, one of their prize rookies who we saw earlier this year.
Yeah, Gregory Polanco had been in a slump, and they decided to send him out. They did activate Clint Barmas.
Designated Jason Nix for assignment.
Couple former Rockies. 1 strike on Morse. Ran into a double play on a great play by Arenado, and also hit a triple to right center. It's a big sequence after the triple by Tyler Matzek with 1 out. There's a tying run at third. Matzek struck out Joe Panik after walking Susac, kind of pitched around him. He got Crawford on a weak ground ball to the right side.
And that's growth as a pitcher. To know the situation, how do you work out of those?
To third, see if the Rockies can turn it. There's 1, there's 2.
Third double play tonight turned by the Rockies. The second one started by Nolan. When that ball is hit, easy double play and throw to DJ.
You just can't take for granted what he does, and that's more of a routine double play. I understand that, but he saves you so many runs.
Makes it look so easy.
And that's why when we had our question during Toyota Talk, the Toyota Talk inning about Arenado has 13 errors, will he still win a Gold Glove? In our estimation, he will. And we talked to other broadcasters also. This is a ground ball to short. Good pickup by Rutledge. Great inning for Matz. A quick inning as it turned out. But yeah, there's some errors, but he makes so many plays and again saves so many runs, and that's what people recognize around the sport. We see a lot of other third basemen as well. 3-2 Colorado off to the 7th. seventh. Michael McHenry will be first offensively. Let's check the farmland. What's cooking down on the farm? Farmland, passion for pork since 1959. How about the season the Asheville Tourists have put together? They've clinched a berth in the 2014 South Atlantic League playoffs. That was a formality. They're 85-47, one of the elite teams in all of minor league baseball. And they've been in the postseason 2 of the last 3 years. They'll be taking on Savannah in that best of 3 beginning September 3rd in the Sally League.
How about Ryan McMahon tonight with his 100th RBI? That's the 26th time that's happened in Asheville Tourist history, and that goes all the way back to 1897.
How about the year Prime's having?
Well, he has 99 RBIs.
A lot of guys who put together huge seasons for Asheville. Has McMahon, I got to look, has he turned 20 yet?
I believe he is 20 now.
He's drafted out of a California high school a year and a half ago. 3-0 on McHenry. Taking the whole way. That's in there, 3-1. Brooks Brown going to start tossing. I don't think that means Matzik is necessarily coming out. Crawford makes the catch.
Tyler's just at 78 pitches.
So no, it's just precautionary. Part of it is he's due up 4th this inning. If he had a lot of traffic, who knows in what direction Walt would go. Hey, thanks for tweeting us your questions during Toyota Talk. For more answers, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRN. Rutledge in the air to mid-range left, and Morse makes the catch. 2 outs. And that'll bring up LeMahieu. Rockies have only 4 hits, didn't have their first hit till the 4th inning, and those 2 were infield hits. They were aided by a couple of Brandon Crawford errors to score 2 in the 4th and take the lead. The only ball, honestly, for a hit that was squared up was DJ LeMahieu's at the plate when he doubled to deep right center, because Morneau has 2 of the 3 hits. One's an infield hit, and the other one was a Texas leaguer to left center field. Arenado has an infield hit. So the only ball that's really been struck well by the Rockies for a hit, at least, was LeMahieu's. They've lined out once or twice. Blackman lined out.
Hey, real quick, Ryan McMahon is only 19, won't turn 20 until December.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to be in the Sally League, throwing out 100 RBI season, third base prospect. That's smarted a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the suites and party facilities at Coors Field provide a great atmosphere to entertain VIP clients or celebrate a special event with friends and family. Call 303 Rockies for more information. Thank you, Janice.
Always good to see Janice when we come to San Francisco. Very studious tonight. $41,052 at AT&T Park tonight. The 311th, is that what you're writing, Janice? Straight sellout. $311 sellouts in a row. Very knowledgeable fan base. On the ground foul. Stu Cole took a look at that and said, you know what?
Hit too hard.
That's a little too hot. I'm not going to field that one.
I don't blame him. That's what he's telling the dugout, too. Be some razzing going on back and forth between the dugout and the first or third base coach. Hey, why didn't you try to catch that?
And when you've been in the game as long as Stu has, guys in that dugout like Rigetti and Wotus, you all know each other.
Yes, you do.
Tim Flannery's good staff for the Giants.
Well,
good staff for the Rockies.
Yeah, with Bochy all the way back, part of him in his days in San Diego.
Yeah, Flannery was with him. There's Tim. The talented guy he is. Good musician. There's a base hit to left for LeMahieu. So he's got 2 hits tonight. And that'll clear Tyler Matzik here in the 7th. I haven't seen the Giants in a little bit. We'll show you his stat. Bam Bam's his hitting coach, Hensley Mullins.
Sir Bam Bam.
Yeah, Sir Bam Bam. Curacao, good guy. Rags, been the pitching coach for a long time. Roberto Kelly, Ron Wotus, Mark Gardner.
Gardy's been here, I think this is his 14th season.
Well, they've won a couple world championships together. That's interesting. Pitcher up, 2 outs, and you pitch out thinking that you may run. That'd be well, the only reason you do it is because if you think, well, he's going to go to a pinch hitter next inning.
Well, and maybe that's where they were looking down in the bullpen and saw Brooks Brown warming up.
That's the only reason you would do it. Well, Rigetti's been there 15 years as the pitching coach. Bam Bam 5 years as the hitting coach. Ron Wotus 26 straight years in the Giants organization. Last 16 on the big league staff. Two and 1. Tyler Matzik. Roberto Kelly 7 years, and Mark Gardner 12 years.
12, okay.
2 and 2.
2 pitches ago, this pitch was not called a strike. Jake Peavy's letting home plate umpire Doug Eddings know. Hey, I didn't like that call.
You can get away with a little bit more if you've won 135 games in the big leagues.
Well, and a Cy Young Award winner.
Like Jake Peavy. And also, Doug Eddings, a veteran umpire. He knows Peavy. He's worked a ton of games. Now watch this. This is yesterday because he didn't see the end of the game. Peavy got run because he thought that Strasburg wasn't pausing in the stretch. A moment later, his buddy Tim Hudson got run.
Paul Emmel said, okay, that's enough. You two go to the showers.
And again, he knows who he's throwing at.
Yeah.
You guys aren't playing today anyhow. Get out of here. Watch it on TV. Literally, in the space of a couple of moments, Peavy gets thrown out and Hudson gets thrown out.
All it means is more paperwork for the umpire to fill out and writing a check from the other 2 guys to the league. At the end of the day,
do you even have to write a check, or does it automatically come out of your check?
The one and only time I was thrown out, I actually physically had to write a check to the league, which pained me.
Wendy did, and she was not happy with you. 2-2.
Deserved it.
Who threw you out? Do you remember?
Dale Ford. Still a bad call. It still wasn't a strike to this day.
I think, did we have that footage? We ran that footage a few years ago, didn't we?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's
well, if we haven't,
if we
haven't, we're certainly going to endeavor to find it again to embarrass you.
I did get my money's worth. I'll just leave it at that. And that's the same pitch.
Yeah, that's the same pitch. And look at Peavy.
Yeah.
And now Bochy chewing on Doug Eddings.
Sly smile from Peavy, and
from his perspective, you understand it.
Yeah. It looked like it caught the inside corner of the forward strike zone, but Tyler, look away now.
That's down low. And I don't think there's any question that's low, but
no,
Peavy is hot. Yeah, he did the smart thing. He turned his back to Eddings and yelled whatever he yelled toward center field.
Okay, so Boch is going to come out now instead of Dave Righetti, the pitching coach. Well, Boch, a former catcher.
Well, now you're talking about the Rockies have a great opportunity. Yeah, Blackman up with 2 men on because of the walk to the pitcher, Matzik.
This is a chance for Bochy to also say something to Doug Eddings. Doug put his hand up, said, I don't want to hear it. Just keep walking to the dugout. But you're right. You flip the lineup over because you have the walk. Now Charlie.
And I think, Doug, I want to give him credit. He handled this well because usually when a manager goes out, he's just baiting the umpire to come out and break up the conversation because the umpires are under a mandate to keep the game moving.
He's saying just don't say one word because you cannot argue balls and strikes.
He's actually protecting Bruce in that situation because by rule, if you argue balls and strikes, you're gone. And he didn't, walk out there. He stayed away. He also stayed away from Peavy. Started to walk out, but it was after a long period of time. And by that moment, Andrew Susac started walking back, and the meeting was over. So, I mean, Doug Eddings, I thought, handled that like a veteran umpire.
Good to see. It wasn't confrontational.
No. Let's see if the Rockies can take advantage of the first walk of the game by Peavy. 1 strike to count on Blackman. Lined out to Posey his last time up. Auto glass damage. Trust Safelite online at safelite.com. On the phone 303-287-5000. 3-2 Colorado in the 7th. LeMahieu a 2-out single, and then the controversial from Peavy's standpoint walk to Matzik. That's 1-1 on the All-Star Charlie Blackman. Not only a .500 hitter this year at AT&T Park, but in his career at .364 average here.
So to give you a little breathing room.
And the crowd jumping on board with Peavy, and every pitch called the ball, no matter where it is, they're getting after Eddings, and that pitch was, as you can see, 4 or 5 inches off the plate.
Not even close. Pitch number 101 coming for Peavy.
This ball lined to right's got to get down. It will. LeMahieu coming home. Pence's throw is on line and safe at the plate.
He got underneath the tag.
And now moving up is Blackman. Here's Matzik trying to score. Throw there. Juggled baseball. And they call Matzik out. Bochy's already on his way to argue the first call. Doug Eddings. Nobody's going to buy him dinner in San Francisco tonight. Peavy may try to get run again because he knows he's probably out of the game.
And Jim Joyce coming in to try to calm things down. But this is a good call from Doug Eddings because they're going to look at this. But I was just watching DJ's reaction when he slid in. Watch his feet get in before the tag.
Now, here's the thing. Which one are they looking at? Because Walt wants the second one looked at. Bochy wants the first one looked at.
Well, I think they have to go to the first one because the rest of the play would not happen if the out's called on DJ.
Well, but then if that is, if they indicate, we haven't seen this before.
I know.
If they indicate call was correct, safe, then you go ahead and look at the second one because there's a possibility that Matzik was safe. Boy, this
multiple challenges.
We haven't seen this before. Now the crowd's reacting because on the video board in center field they just showed Hunter Pence's throw. Now clearly the ball beat LeMahieu, and LeMahieu threw his hands out saying, "I got my foot in there." That's how Doug Eddings saw it.
Yeah, and then he pointed to Doug Eddings saying, "Good call."
Jim Joyce on the left, one of the more famous umpires, is the crew chief. He's a very good umpire. This manager's challenge brought to you by Subaru's Eyesight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive. So let's look first at the base hit by Charlie.
Okay, a sinking line drive to right field. And DJ gets a great jump, 2 outs. He's going the whole way, and then the throw from Hunter Pence more towards the first base side. And this comes back to the catcher having to give the base runner a lane to slide into. Doug Eddings getting in position. Watch the right foot. It's on the plate. He's safe.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to get overturned.
No.
We're going to back it up, slow down, go frame by frame.
Watch the toe. Right. Tag is not applied. He's on the plate. Correct call from Doug Eddings. He's safe.
Yeah. That's the one the Giants obviously are challenging.
Because he tags him on the back of his right leg. Okay, so watch on the back of his right leg.
You know, this is the
Foot's on the plate.
Yeah, and then the tag
Then the
comes
tag.
in. And I'll tell you, that's the old hook slide.
Yes.
Now it's usually the drive-by slide.
Or reach back with the left hand as you're sliding to the outside.
Yeah, and slap the plate.
He's going to be safe. That honestly, they can't overturn this.
Pretty clear cut. Jim Joyce is getting ready to take the headset off. Eddings. Now. Oh, he called him out?
Are you kidding me?
Are you? What?
Okay. Are you serious?
Well, that eliminates the possibility then of looking at the second one. I don't understand.
Why have replay?
I don't know what they could have seen that would have overturned it. That was wild, and I think they got it wrong. Yes. I don't understand. And you have to be apoplectic at home, as we are. That Walt White's the same way. You're looking at it, so you have replay for a reason.
Right.
How on earth did you come up with enough evidence to overturn that.
Right. And even the shot we had, his foot was on the bag before he was tagged. I still don't understand where they came up with overturning this call.
Now, it's hard to tell. If you think he touches him there, the foot's already on the bag, on the plate. Susak fouls it off, back live. It's 2-2. And I'm sure we'll show you also, had they reviewed the next play, which there's no point in reviewing it because in their mind the third out was made once they overturned it. We'll show you that Matzik was out. He went. Nope, no swing according to first base umpire Corey Blazer. All right, here's Matzik. Now watch here. That was a whiff, and even if it wasn't a whiff, ball came out of glove. Eddings says he's out. Matzik never touched the plate. He's out there clearly.
But he was called out.
But he was called out before, and the ball and the glove were separate. You can't tag with an empty glove. There's the strikeout.
Well, for all the praise we were giving Doug Edding, keeping things calm with Jake Peavy, they missed that call. They blew it at home.
Well, it's not. This is not Doug Eddings because his call was right.
Right.
He's
it right there.
There's. I mean, are they saying right there the bottom of the glove?
Okay, but it goes.
But it looks
back.
like the toes. Well,
no, but see, that's where I think they.
Look at the bottom of the glove. We're focused on. I was focused at least on the webbing. Is the bottom? Can you tell with the bottom of the glove? I mean, you have to be able to tell definitively. On the first pitch, Crawford grounds out. And Joaquin Arias is going to hit for Jake Peavy.
Now the laces are considered part of the glove.
Let's see if they move.
But it's hard to say that they're moving the pant leg because you're making a slide at the same time, and the pant leg's going to come up on the slide.
You know, that's what they must have looked at.
But you have to remember, originally he was called safe. So they're saying there was enough evidence in all of that to overturn it, which I don't see.
Arias takes strike one. Sergio Romo throwing. We haven't seen the Giants in a while after the Rockies beat him up a couple of months back in June. He lost his closer's role, so now he's in a setup role. He's actually been throwing the baseball very well. But Santiago Casilla is the closer now for the Giants. On the ground, diving stop, Arenado pops to his feet, long throw, and it goes into the crowd. Morneau tried to come off and make the catch. He could not. Arias will go to second. He doesn't realize it yet. So Nolan will get an error, his 14th, and that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, Huey.
Well, those are the unfortunate errors because other guys would not get to that baseball. I mean, he dives, he comes up with it. Other guys, it's down in the corner for a double, but Nolan comes up, makes a throw to first, and then it sails on him. Justin came off the bag. It's tougher for a first baseman when he's trying to work out and around the base runner as he's coming down, because you have to close some distance to make that arc to get around the base runner.
Now with Pagan coming up for the fourth time, Walt comes up, talks to Matzik, and leaves him in the ball game, showing trust in the young left-hander. He's had a good ball game tonight. Again, I thought he threw the ball well against Kansas City. Got painted up a little bit after he departed. I like this move by Walt. I know it's a tying run at second base. I know Pagan had an early double against him.
Well, at some point you got to give him the confidence and show
it's a growth moment.
Yes,
it's a growth moment. Pagan on the ground to third. Arenado thought about making a tag on Arias for a moment, but wisely threw it across the infield, and that's all. So the confidence Walt showed is rewarded. 3-2 Colorado. Here's our Cooney Lexus look back. Tyler Matzik has gone 7 strong innings tonight. Scattered 8 hits. He's allowed 2 runs, a couple of walks, 7 strikeouts. The Giants have committed 4 errors tonight, and the Rockies have taken advantage. Only 1 of their runs is earned. It's been a tough night for Brandon Crawford. 2 more errors. He's got 20 this year. Then a balk on Jake Peavy as Morneau took off early in a 1st and 3rd situation, and that's what forced the balk on Peavy. Sergio Romo's in the ball game, and again brought to you by Cooney Lexus. The look back. Cooney Lexus, Greenwood Village, and Colorado Springs. Romo has been unscored upon his last 11 outings as Drew Stubbs is at the plate. 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a slider about 60% of the time with Romo, who lost the closer's job on June the 29th.
Yeah, he blew 3 of 5 save chances during that time. 9 runs, 10 hits, so it was bad. They moved him out. Also giving up a lot of home runs. 8 this year. That ties a career high for him.
And he strikes out Stubbs. That'll bring up Morneau, who's 2 for 2 and a sac fly. The day after every Rockies victory, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter the promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com, and also 10% of net sales donated to Children's Hospital Colorado. Outside. Justin earlier, as Jenny told you, with the 2 hits tonight, moved into 2nd place all time on the hits produced by a Canadian-born player. Larry Walker way out in front. He's in the air to Morrison left. This is kind of, Huey, following the script that Walt described at about 5 o'clock tonight in the dugout.
Well, it's nice when your starting pitcher goes out and gives you a chance, and you have the lead going late into the game. Well, fans, RBI Baseball is back with all 30 Major League teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today.
There's Nolan Arenado. That'd be a good time for one of those solo home runs.
Well, he's just the man to do it. 14 home runs on the season, passing his high from last year.
Adam Ottavino's up to throw the 8th inning. Ottavino has thrown each of the last 2 days. Inning yesterday, 2/3 of an inning Saturday, when the entire bullpen was used in that 13-inning affair in which the Rockies would win on the Dickerson heroics.
Well, and with what Christian Bergman did yesterday, throwing 6+ innings, Tyler at least 7 tonight, it's calmed things down in the waters of the bullpen. Give those guys a little bit of breathing room and a chance to regroup.
That slider was a little more of a hanger. It was belt high and it sat out over the middle of the plate. Nolan took a big hack at it.
That's what it cost Romo his closer's job. Previous years, that had depth and bite to it.
Yeah, that was more of a cement mixer. Sergio, who played his college baseball at what was then known as Mesa State, now known as Colorado Mesa. They were in the Division II World Series championship game this year. Good program, great program over on that western slope.
It's getting up a little short, but still nothing to feel bad about with being runner-up.
They lose to Southern Indiana in extra innings.
Yes.
I always say this, and you know this to be true. Grand Junction Rockies over there, that is a great baseball town, Grand Junction.
It is. I always enjoyed going over there, playing in tournaments with the youth teams.
Yeah, they support the Junior College World Series, the home of that for many, many years. Romo has a 1-2-3 8th inning. 3-2 Colorado. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Hunter Pence, Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, the thick part of the lineup for the Giants against Adam Ottavino. Here first, our AT&T fan photo of the game. The whole park is yours. And the first pitch from Ottavino is in there for a strike on Pence. You can tweet your photo to #COFanPhoto for an opportunity to have it Seemed just like that young lady in an upcoming game broadcast. Pence tonight 1 for 2 and a walk. McHenry on the outside corner slider looked like it was right there. Wow.
Not sure where he missed on that pitch. 64th appearance for Adam. The last couple have been just spotless. Hitting in 2/3, 21 pitched, 1 hit, couple punch outs. The number 2 pitch on the forward strike zone is the one we were referencing. The slider caught the corner. It didn't bother Adam. Comes back with the pitch to get to the count to 1 and 2. You could throw one just down in the dirt now if you want. Pinch and swing at it.
Okay.
97.
Well, listen, I don't know. He's been eating well, because the last week and a half, his fastball sat between 97 and 99. 2-2. Slider and a base hit.
It's a hanger.
Pence came in hitting .409 against the Rockies this year, and the average going up.
He's also hit 12 of 13 games against Colorado. Well, that's where he wanted it. He wanted it down there. Didn't get there. Just spun up there and sped up the bat of Hunter Pence.
It's been a night of double plays for the Rockies. See if they can induce one right here. Matzik had 3 turns behind him. Buster Posey takes ball 1. Jeremy Affeldt going to the Giants' pen down that third base line. That's a strike again at 97.
Buster is in center field into the off gap in right center.
I know Miami did something interesting. I know that's what you're alluding to, Huey, in the outfield against Buster Posey. They played their center fielder in left center field.
Yeah, he was over in this area.
They played by the Visa sign is where their right field. I know that sounds crazy. Their right fielder was not standing by the Visa sign, but on the same angle. It was about 80 yards to the right field line.
I've never seen that in the outfield before.
And it worked because evidently a couple times Posey hit the ball toward, semi-right center field, really more center field. The right fielder caught it.
I saw it in a college regional game this year where they put 4 outfielders. They moved the third baseman to the outfield and played 4 outfielders on a left-handed hitter. That's as crazy as I've seen until the Marlins did it here at the big leagues.
2-2 on Posey. Strike 3 on Buster at 98, and he gets tossed. Well, maybe he didn't get tossed. He said no to Posey. It's not you.
Okay.
It's Bochy. And this has been ongoing all night. Now Bochy's going to get his money's worth.
It's pitch number 5 on the forward strike zone.
And Jim Joyce is forced to come in now because this is an extended period. This is where you get an added bonus from the league office for not leaving the field in a timely manner.
And this is kind of vintage Lou Piniella. The way Piniella used to argue all the time. Okay, and that's what Jim's saying. Enough's enough. Walk away.
Giants have not played well at home the last couple of months. They're 4.5 behind the Dodgers. And you can feel the frustration coming out in Bruce Bochy.
Fastball at 97. It crosses the knees, it looks like, as it goes across the plate. It's close. It might be down just a hair, but the whole time, Doug Eddings had heard enough from the Giants dugout.
Sandoval at the plate with Pence at first.
I'm sure Posey was thinking it was going to be a slider and not a fastball.
That's funny. You could hear a couple people yell, "Was that a strike?" Posey was standing there at first. He thought he got run, and then Eddings said, no,
not you.
It's your manager. Matt Cain's on the left. Madison Bumgarner on the right. Cain done for the year. Bone chips removed from his elbow. We'll see Bumgarner
tomorrow
night against De La Rosa. About a great pitching matchup. Pence started to go, shut it down, and the pitch is fouled into the upper deck by Panda. Panda 2 for 8 lifetime against Adam Ottavino.
A good guy to double up. If he hits the ball on the ground, roll it for your 4th double play tonight.
Case Ottavino gets extended a little bit. Brothers warming up quickly. Then Adams worked now 3 straight days.
Decent lead by Pence at first base, leaning to second.
Ground ball to short, should be 2. There's 1. Another double play. Ottavino claps his hands as he runs off the field. Crowd boos. We'll go to the 9th with the Rockies in front 3-2. Nice job, Adam Ottavino. Trends 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. It has been a most interesting night at AT&T Park on the shores of McCovey Cove. The Rockies 3 and the Giants 2, top of the 9th inning. Afterward, the Toyota postgame show. And let's check in with the boys back in Denver. Mark, take it away. All right. It'll be Jeremy Affeldt in the top of the 9th inning. It'll be Corey Dickerson, Michael McHenry, and Josh Rutledge for the Rockies. It'll be the 52nd appearance for Affeldt. He got roughed up yesterday, Huey.
Didn't record an out. 5 hits, 4 earned runs. It's the most earned runs he had allowed in a game since back in 2011 at Chicago. Also had 4 earned runs in that game. Opponent's hitting .238, but with runners in scoring position, once you get out there, that number jumps up over 100 points.
Strike 1 called at the top of the zone on Dickerson. Corey 0 for 2, sac fly in the 4th inning. And that sac fly is the difference in this ball game right now. With the bat went farther than the baseball. Posey to first base, 1 out.
The first 15,000 fans on Sunday, September 7th, will receive a Baby Bowl bobblehead gnome courtesy of 850 KOA and Napa Auto Parts. Arrive early. Gates will open 2 hours prior to game time. The first 15,000 fans, a Baby Bowl bobblehead gnome.
Henry takes high, ball 1. Michael is 0 for 3. Right-handed hitters 8 for their last 15 against Affeldt. Henry yesterday hit a home run, also walked with the bases loaded, so he drove in 2 yesterday. And he played all 13 innings behind the plate. Willie Rosario again nursing a sore wrist.
It's a luxury to have a guy that's hitting .330 like Michael is, with some power that you know that you can put back behind the plate 4 or 5 days in a row, not going to wear down.
Rockies are carrying a 3rd catcher right now in the very versatile Matt McBride. One, 2 on the ground to second. Panic, 2 outs. Not a name for an infielder, is it? Joe Panic.
Because you don't want to panic.
Yeah. You want your nickname to be No Panic. Who Wants Tacos? Fans follow at Root_Sports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special and the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game. It's a big glove out there in left center field.
Old and worn, though. It's,
yeah. 2 in the pinky?
Yeah, you would have to. You'd have to go put 2 in the end. Make sure it closed.
That glove's like circa 1931.
That's back when they used to just leave him on the field.
Next 0-2 on Rutledge. The Troy Hawkins in the 9th. We'll see Michael Morse, Joe Panic, Andrew Susac. Those are the 3 scheduled. Troy's been in a real good place. He saved 20 of 21. Curveball, red. Oh, Rutledge called that. That looked low. What Josh is saying right now to Doug Eddings. So we go, and now it's Walt's turn to chew on Doug Eddings a little bit, but he wants to stick around for the bottom of the 9th. Rockies up 3-2. 3-2. Such a typical AT&T Park game. 1-run affair. LaTroy will try to close it out. Here's our Century link, your link to what's next. And the next few weeks, the Rockies on the road this week. San Francisco 4 times, including tonight in Arizona. They'll see the Giants at home next week and the Padres, and then it's off to New York to see the Mets before continuing on to St. Louis. Michael Morse will lead it off. LaTroy Hawkins, in his last save, pitched a 1-2-3 inning against Miami. And the first pitch swung on and fouled off. It's 0-1 on Michael Morse.
20 of 21 save opportunities, and if you think back to that 3-game set here in June when the Rockies swept the Giants, LaTroy all 3 saves in that series.
One, trying to bring the fastball back over the outside corner. It missed. It's 1-1. There's only 2 pitchers over 40 this year in baseball that have a victory. LaTroy and Bartolo Colon, who's the centerpiece, subject of trade rumors now, pitching for the New York Mets. The Angels, with the injury to Richards, have a big-time need for a starter. 2-1, and that's fouled off. 2-2.
The difference between LaTroy and Colon used to throw 94, 96, 98 miles an hour. No longer. LaTroy can still do that.
He still does.
Maybe not 98, but he can dial 95 if he still has to.
We saw some 96s the other day. 2-2 on Morse.
Where's that?
Where is that? I mean, that
wasn't that the same pitch that struck Posey out on?
That's right at the bottom of the strike zone. One to Posey was lower than that. Morse is holding his breath. You don't look back there.
Don't.
You just assume, yeah, it's a ball, right?
Sometimes with taller guys, they have a tendency to have the high strike call on them more than the low one.
Seems that way. LaTroy is 17 on the all-time list for games pitched. This is 984, and that's fouled off at 95. National and more recently Seattle Mariner Michael Morse. Another 3-2, and he lost him. Went to a cutter. So Morse walks leading off the 9th. Joe Panic will come up. Arenado will walk in a couple of steps at third. Auto glass issues, call SafeLight 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. We'll also get a pinch runner. Is that Matt Duffy?
Yeah, it is. A little more speed, the utility infielder. We'll run him over.
He's swinging.
Gregor Blanco has come out to the on-deck circle for the Giants.
Ron Wotus is the acting manager, with Bochy having been thrown out.
This guy's the same. try to play for the tie at home with a leadoff guy on, bunt him over.
Especially when you've watched the Rockies turn 4 double plays tonight.
138 on the season.
It's 0-2. 0-2 on 23-year-old Joe Panik. From Yonkers, New York originally. Grew up in Hopewell Junction, New York. An hour and a half north of the city. Blanco. He's going to pinch hit for Susak.
Staying away from the fastball.
This kid got to the big leagues quickly because he can hit. Rookie ball, he hit .341, hit .297. Cal League 2 years ago.
Well, Troy shook to that last curveball. To chase a fastball up. They're trying to go back inside.
He's going to draw a throw.
It's just hey, I haven't forgotten about your throw.
Younger than the man he's facing. A couple of years ago, he was an All-American and a Golden Spikes finalist playing for St. John's. On the fence, Michael Morse, interested observers. 2-2.
Different now for Ron Wotus. Calling the shots instead of asking the manager, what do you want to do?
This ball lined to right, but it's at Blackman. 1 out. And I know at times a manager will be booted from a game, but he'll still communicate what he wants done from the tunnel, from his office, as long as he's out of sight. In this case, and this is speculative, he has been with Ron Wotus for so long, and Ron Wotus, long time ago, earned the trust from Bruce Bochy, and I believe it's Ronnie's game.
Yeah. Well, remember, Clint used to do the same thing. He wouldn't.
With Tommy Runnels.
With Tommy, yeah. When he would get kicked out, say, it's your show to run. I'm not going to be relaying signs to you or letting people know what I want done.
Gregor Blanco, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Blanco pinch hitting for the catcher, Susak.
7 for 24. It's a pinch hitter for Blanco. .252 average overall.
Brandon Crawford on deck. 1 out in the 9th. The Rockies 3 and the Giants 2. Matt Duffy, the pinch runner at first. That's high. 1-1.
Blanco, the only thing you have to worry about with him is if he somehow handles the ball inside and pulls it, because most of the time he tries to stay inside and hit it the other way. Just like that swing. If he gets one out in front, there's a lot of room down the right field, into the right field corner.
Well, he had a big day yesterday in Washington with a home run and a triple.
Last pitch, you want to stay away from him. And that's where Michael had set up. Ball creep back over the middle part.
One and two.
Blanco is grounded into 4 double plays in the season. 282 at bats.
One, two. He's got him. Called strike 3. And they're 2 outs.
Just locked him up. Locked him up with the fastball. The hip side fastball. Start it where the left-handed batter thinks it's going to be a ball. Starts to give up on it. Watch him kind of throw his hands up and scoot back. And he knows it.
2 gone, and it's left to Brandon Crawford, who's hitting just .202 this year against right-handed pitching. It's been a rough night for Crawford. He's committed 2 errors, and he's 0 for 3. Breaking ball yanked foul. Roberto Kelly had to duck out of the way. And it's 0-1. Crawford has pull power. He had a walk-off home run. Was it last year against the Rockies or earlier this year?
It was last year.
It was actually this year, April the 13th, we just told.
The first time the Rockies were hit.
That's right.
Yeah.
1-1. This time of year, everything that happened in April seems like last year.
It does. They're kind of rolling together. Well, and when you haven't seen a ball club like the Giants, somebody in your division with it's been over 2 months now. And now you're going to play them 7 times in the next 10 days.
1-1 on Crawford. 2 outs. The Rockies up a run in the 9th. Strike 2.
Well received from Michael, and he held that for Doug Eddings.
And it was there.
It was. It's right at the bottom of the forward strike zone. Watch how it's received. Hold it, hold it.
Hawkins ahead, 1-2. Duffy at first, running for Morse. 2 gone. Here's the 2-2. Got tip, held. Ball game over. Rockies have defeated the Giants again at AT&T. A 3-2 final. What a performance in the ninth by LaTroy Hawkins in earning his 21st save. And Tyler Matzik, in his first matchup of his young career against the Giants, comes away with the victory. Terrific ball game, a nail-biter to the very end. The Rockies have now won 5 of their last 6 in a place where wins have typically been so hard to come by. 3-2 over the Giants at AT&T Park. Again, Matzik gets the victory. The loss goes to Jake Peavy. Our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. And it's provided by Tyler Matzik, who went 7 innings tonight, limiting the Giants to 2 runs. He scattered 8 hits.